This is for her birdie as well,
Yep,
right?
Right.
Okay.
And the outright win.
All right. Oh,
So now
this
just
is for par.
for par and to tie. I mean, Paige is right there.
Oh, no.
Still strong.
God,
Playing.
so
I know, it's not how you
brutal.
want it to end. Paige Pierce, your champion.
And I'm walking up the last few holes and thinking, if I lose, I still am out here doing what I love.
Kristin Tatar, your 2023 Champions Cup winner. Outright brilliance from Kristin.
I mean, it slipped out of my hands last year, so it feels good to play one of the greatest tournaments I've ever played in my life here. I just want to tell everybody to follow their dreams. Amazing stuff will happen because it happened to me with disc golf.
And your Champions Cup champion, Eveliina Salonen. Big smiles from Eveliina here. Her first major victory.
I was so nervous whole round. Last 4 holes I was shaking. I think at least I'm proving to myself that I can still do it.
Hello and welcome to the 2025 PDGA Champions Cup presented by OTB and MVP Disc Sports. We finally are back on the West Coast. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the Two Hot Geeks. Here for our first major of the year. This is the 4th year that Champions Cup has existed as a major, but our first time at this course for this event. And there's a lot of changes from the classic OTB Open layout.
Yeah, we have 36, I believe, total holes out here now with new tee pads and new baskets. Let's jump right in. Here is hole 1. We're going to play the A layout today and then switch to the B layout on some of the days of the event. Today, hole 1 is going to play as a par 4. It will be a par 3 some other days, but we'll fill you in on those days. There's OB all the way down the right and left-hand side. You're going to go right past that par 3 basket on the B layout, and then you have to carry OB a little bit on the right side, hyzering into this hilly green.
Eveliina Salonen.
Eveliina, the defending champion of this tournament when we had it in Peoria. Eveliina winning at Northwoods Black.
Her new Estonia, Kristin Lätt.
And what a cool opening video. We got to see some of the drama of Kristin's second place and then victory in 2022 and 2023 at WR Jackson, where we used to have this event.
There was a bit of a headwind on this hole. We had relatively calm practice days, so stepping into the course early and having some pretty ripping, chilly wind was a little bit different.
From Oiti, Finland, Silva, Saarinen.
I love this lounge area on one.
It feels so official.
Yeah.
It looks nice too. OTB, usually the home of the OTB Open. This year, of course, it is going to be our Champions Cup. 4 rounds with a cut after round 3.
We've seen a lot of Silva Saarinen lately. She's been consistent top 10 finishes and podium finishes this year.
From Seattle, Washington, Ella Hansen.
Ella's first big win was OTB
Last year.
yeah.
Yeah, so kind of feels like defending, even though it is a different event.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing because Eveliina is defending, but it doesn't. It's a very different course.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. Have fun out there, ladies. Thank you.
The power sidearm is going to be a huge advantage out here at this course.
For sure.
Eveliina a little farther back than you'd want, but she can get there with a big shot here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see people playing up this left side.
Yeah.
I kind of like to play up the right side. It
I do
opens
too.
things up a little bit. Of course, you do have to carry OB on your second shot, like we see Silva lining up right now, but it feels safer to crash into the green here.
And it shortens it.
Yep.
Yeah, I basically just play the par 3 and the par 4 as the same
Same.
hole.
Me too.
It's efficient practice, too. Silva going to be deep in circle 2 with that upshot. Ella set up nicely for this forehand. That's looking good.
It's impressive on this property how many holes they managed to add just using the layout that they already were working with last year. Again, a lot of new tee pads, a lot of new pin positions, enough to add 36 holes total.
And only a few days to learn it.
Yeah, it was a relatively quick turnaround unless you really hustled over from Kansas City.
Kristin cresting the hill, going to have a long putt for her birdie. A lot of work left here on Evelina's third, but she gets just inside the circle.
There are a ton of greens on this course that are up on hills or facing out of bounds. You feel like you're just constantly death putting if you are a little bit timid on your approach shots. You have to be aggressive here on the green or you're going to find yourself with a lot of putts like this. No problem for Silva, though. She's dead center, just the littlest bit low, but a nice aggressive run towards out of bounds.
Yeah, it's interesting. This course has been fairly stable for a couple years and has been drastically redesigned more than once. A lot has happened in the few years that we've been playing this course. Leonard Muse, the course designer, doing a great job of making a very scoreable and interesting course. It is much harder this year, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, I in my practice, I am making myself okay with being even par. I think that's going to be I think that's going to be a really good score during the rounds. There are still birdies available to get out here, but there's just so much more trouble. All the out of bounds lines are pinched in a little bit. They really tried to make it a major by making it as difficult as possible.
Yeah, but that being said, it's just catering towards distance, which you know is what we see more and more, and it makes sense. So there will be plenty of hot scores out there. It takes everything to get there. You can't just get away with, pretty good shot. You have to be really on top of your game here to score.
And it does reward aggressive play.
Yeah.
A lot of little tiny greens, slopey greens. You really have to manage your disc angle. And so now, moving on to hole 2, this is going to be like last year's
18, but very different also.
Yeah.
Yeah, hole 2, the tee shot is the same. There is a mandatory on the left. There's an OB line left. The OB line right isn't really a factor. There's this rough on the right side that can come into play, but they cleared out the right side corner, which is nice. So there's a variety of lines you can take. You just want to get into the clear, and we are playing to the left pin today. It used to be more of a keyhole shape. Now with the A and the B pin, it's both a par 4. They're maybe 60 feet apart, 80 feet apart. It's a wider landing zone on the second shot. So I like the change to this, and I like where we finish instead of this hole. I think it's better for the spectators. It's better for the drama. I think this is a great change.
Yeah. I'm glad they kept this hole, though, because I thought it was a really cool hole, especially for FPO. There's Kristin showing off her distance sidearm. Like Erika said, that is going to be a huge advantage on so many holes, approaches and tee shots. Silva squeaking past that middle guardian tree you want to avoid, and being on that right side is great.
Yeah, and this isn't a route we saw many people take in the past several years, this right side of that little tree that's framed up right in the middle, just because that right side was more dense. You saw this line a lot more.
Yeah, the course is definitely cleaned up. I guess there was a winter storm as well that we lost a few trees and maybe some dense foliage, but all the lines are very cleaned up.
Eveliina catching that one tree you gotta miss. She's likely just playing for par here. Yeah, wow. Very much just playing for par. I kind of like this hole better now. I think, it's really fair, very attackable. Still hard.
Yeah, but you can see here anyone that's not playing aggressive off the tee isn't left with much unless you have this pushing hyzer distance sidearm that most of the FPO field does not have. You really have to go ham off the tee, like we saw Kristin, to give yourself an open shot to the green.
Yeah, Kristin really known to go ham.
Just a nice little chip hyzer, some left to right wind to help it, and
perfect
onto the koozie. Silva so far down here.
Yeah, classic Silva standstill shot. Perfect. Oh, what do we think the easiest hole is going to be?
Ooh.
I haven't thought about it.
Me neither at all.
They're making me think it could be this one. No, this one's not easy.
I think it's going to be the friendly par 5.
Ooh, good putt.
I think is it 8?
We'll get back to you, folks.
Yeah, I think it's 8.
Eveliina with a really nice par save. Everyone else attacking for birdie. Ella a little right on that birdie putt.
It is not 8. It's 7. Okay. I think it's 7.
Okay.
Another birdie on our feature card.
I'm gonna guess hole 4.
Okay. The bets are in, folks.
And
2 birdies, 2 pars. Good way to get through hole 2, and now we take a long walk.
So long.
Yeah.
I swear it's 5,000 steps in the first 4 holes. I'm not joking.
It's a lot of movement for sure. And we will be moving to hole 3, which is the old hole 2 from the OTB layout from last year.
Yep. Moving forward, we'll just be 1 hole off of last year.
Yep. So here it is. It's a par 4. It's 573. You can go in hyzer off the tee. You can go forehand, or you can go backhand hyzer towards that Mando that you see on the right side. Ideally, you just want to make sure you get through that first line of trees to open it up, but it's still a tricky little approach to the green. The basket's far enough under this canopy of trees that you have to throw something pretty poppy to get some ground play. Not really much of a line unless you're coming in on the left side of the green. Here is another place where a forehand is such a huge advantage. Backhand can be tough.
Do you think poppy or more like
Zippy.
zippy?
Yeah.
Wow. How'd you know I was going to say that?
Because I almost said it.
That's funny. Kristin going sidearm.
Spinny.
Hickling the ceiling. That's going to be a decent spot, setting herself up for another pretty big sidearm. Zesty?
Oh, no.
No? Dude, what other tournament can you just tailgate at one of the holes? These people have my respect.
Legitimately love to see it. Silva riding more on the left side, kind of opens up the backhand a little bit more on the second shot.
Did you mention, that the left side is way tighter this year than it was last year? At least in the beginning.
Yeah.
At the end, it's about the same, but it kind of is rewarding this right side gap play a little bit more. Ella making sure to keep it really low and get it under the ceiling. And Eveliina, the really nice stable disc, getting some great ground play.
Oh my gosh,
That's gonna
that
be
is
awesome.
a crush.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Kristin from her forehand. She's not pinned up against any tree. She's got probably around 310, maybe 320 to the basket. It's a good crush. She's coming in a little high, but that's going to work just fine.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That is perfect. Pushes the ceiling just as much as you need to.
Just low enough. Yeah, more often than not, you see people catch that ceiling and it'll just drop you straight down deep into circle 2. Ella doing a good job of managing her height as well, looking for some ground play. Nicely done.
Yeah, she'll trickle into circle 1, right on that one little bush that you want to avoid. Might have to straddle putt. Here's Silva for more left side of the fairway. Going to work a little backhand turning shot.
Did you see that pollen?
Yeah,
It's out there.
it sure is.
And you can see how much speed the branches just take off on this one. You cannot hit them and park the hole.
Kind of surprised to see Eveliina go backhand here.
Me too. Maybe she's never been that far up.
She crushed it.
That was the biggest tee shot I think I've seen.
Nice aggressive bid at the basket. Silva from a little bit closer, but still pretty deep in circle 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 55 feet or so.
The amount of times we have to go back and forth from super sunny to super shady.
Wow.
What? I was going to say makes the camera guys work, but Silva from what, 55 feet?
Uh-huh. That is exactly what I said. Great putt. We don't usually see her do a little stepping putt like that. That's clean. Ella a little frustrated on the green, trying to get her round going. Eveliina airballs that one just as far for the bogey now. And a little bit closer. Oh, you hate to see it. It's been a while since we've seen this from Eveliina too. It's a tough way to start out a major.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a little break since we last got to see Eveliina.
Oh, Ella too. Maybe extra jitters are essentially 2 winners of this event and course.
Also, we hate to see it, this basket with no trouble around it, with no OB, and this is one of the scariest ones. Almost all the baskets have OBs so close.
And a nice birdie from Kristin, 2 in a row. Boy, yeah, what a thing to point out.
Yeah. But those are the scariest ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see what
wide
you mean.
open.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Regular.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah, it's like I should make this one every day.
Yeah, there's nothing to focus on.
No.
Too easy.
Quarter of the field birdieing that one. One of the few holes to average under par.
And this will be an approach shot he'll remember for a long, long time.
Course record, title. This may be the best day of Ezra Robinson's life.
The legacy of the Robinson brothers grows today.
Supreme Flight Open champion and first time Elite Series winner, Ezra Robinson.
Hole 4, my guess for easiest hole on the course as far as whatever, you get it. It's a par 3, 286 feet. The A position is on the right. It's the classic pin position that we've been playing for a couple years now. You see a lot of mid-ranges. We might see some putters. You occasionally see some fairways. I like a hyzer flip play. I'm trying to remember, it was mostly like a headwind, left to right kind of a deal.
Yep.
This
and kind of gusty, like it would pick up and then it would go away.
I really liked the forehand play last year, but the foliage has really grown in a lot, so you have to go a lot lower than you used to. Otherwise, you hit that stuff right there. That you used to be able to take that exact line, and it worked really well.
Yeah, Kristin tries to almost go around it, but that tree right in the middle blocks it.
Yeah, you kind of have to go under it, which so now I really don't think that's the play anymore, which is a bummer because I love that play.
Yeah, the basket's just a wee bit further than it was as well. It used to be just short of that tree, and now it's a little past, added about 25 feet. Silva, no problem with this dead straight backhand shot.
Let's see a follow flight with this neutron hex. Absolutely pinning this thing. Gorgeous shot. That's going to be a turkey right off the bat for Silva. Ella also going to attempt the sidearm here. Keeps it low.
And she is one of the few players in the field with enough power to throw it that low and get it all the way to the basket.
And she's still going to have to make a putt from circle's edge. Eveliina taking the backhand gap.
That tree has a magnet on it. I am convinced.
A lot of work left here for Eveliina. Nice little sidearm though. It's about 20 feet.
Kristin with a bit of an approach left as well, pulling out the trusty harp.
Oh, that looked like a run for sure. Do you see this Thursday gallery?
Yeah, it's huge.
Pretty awesome.
Ella looking pretty tentative on the green right now.
Listen to that wind.
Yeah, we haven't had to play. A nice little bounce back from Eveliina. We haven't had to play in much wind this year.
What?
Even at Kansas City, the baskets are a little more guarded. I feel like I'm noticing the wind on the green more than ever today.
It's been such a windy year.
Really?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
That's all we talk about.
Really?
Leave it in the comments. Has it been a windy year? I will say, though, we did not have the wind in practice. And these baskets, you're right, a lot of them are kind of on hills and exposed. And yeah, you did feel it on the green. But I think, yeah, it's just such a stark difference. It was so lovely in practice.
Yeah, and I remember it off the tee a lot, but the greens, I haven't been thinking about it. That played as the second easiest hole today, so that one hurts.
So close. Oh, hey, a hot goose and a tie for first.
Honk.
Matt, looks like a four-way tie.
Here we are on hole 5, a par 5 that I would say is a little bit friendly, but if you don't get off the tee, it all of a sudden becomes one of the hardest holes in the world. You got to make it through that initial tee, get way out in the field. Your second shot, you got to get over that ball golf green. You can cut through the corner or through the little tree tunnel, but there's some trouble over there if you throw an errant shot. Your third, you're trying to go under all the low-hanging branches or maybe around in this main fairway that we can see to the right of the basket, and hopefully setting yourself up for a birdie putt.
Silva gonna show us this middle gap, which I really like.
Me too. I think it's my favorite.
It's definitely got some technicality to it, and if you have the power hyzer, it's definitely a safer way to go, but you don't see the right-handed player take this gap that often. It's just fine. It adds maybe just a slight bit of distance to the hole, but it's nice and open over there.
Yeah, and it does open up that second shot really nicely.
That's true. Also something you don't see a whole lot of. Big, powerful sidearm from Ella.
God,
that's so huge.
Crushed.
As far as Kristin's backhand.
I wonder how far that is. I would say every bit of 340 or 350.
Yeah. I think easily.
Yeah.
Eveliina is showing us the hyzer line and why she is a power player.
We haven't seen in the past few years as many players going up that left side fairway that we just saw Ella and Kristin take, but I can see how it's going to become maybe one of the more popular gaps because this shot is so friendly.
It's, yeah, way more open, as you said. I think everyone's just getting better, and before it just didn't seem worth it with the OB road on the left.
Yep.
And now no one's even thinking about that.
Nope.
Ella is going to get caught up, unfortunately, on the branches. Here's that tunnel route Madison was talking about.
You can see how much more technical it is, and Silva's going to be so pinched that it's going to be a tough and very technical shot with lots of trees in the way to get up and down.
I think she'll be fine for par.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
There's still some trouble though. Kristin with a huge shot. Wow, massive shot.
And she's going to have just like a straight shot, I believe.
Yeah,
to the
I was
green.
just trying to imagine what that looks like over there.
Where are they right now?
Wow, look at this.
Holy cow.
Huge turning shot from Eveliina. She's, 150 feet away now?
Yep.
And
this is the technical shot from Silva.
So pinched.
You're basically just kind of throwing it at trees unless you're not trying to get to the green. You can go up this right gap, and she'll have an up and down little approach shot before she's able to putt.
Ella's third, looking to find that first birdie of the round. Yanks this one.
She was trying to put a lot of power behind that.
I mean, she sure did.
She sure did. Timing just a wee bit off, and she's going to have a tricky third shot. You can see how the strokes can stack up a little bit.
Man, and this is Kristin after 2.
Unreal.
Go far.
That's
so smooth, too.
So good.
Beautiful shot. Eveliina even farther on her third, also trying to find that first birdie of the round. I feel like once you get that first green on your scorecard, you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief and start playing a little more aggressive and confidently.
Yeah, Eveliina with a little bit of a timid approach. She's going to have a circle 2 putt for her first birdie. Ella coming in hot, but
nice.
It checks up nicely.
Silva just looking to save a par here. This can be a little bit tricky with those low-hanging branches. You see Silva keep it nice and low, and a little bit of a skip play there.
So I thought this was a kind of a friendly par 5, but it played us in the top 5 most difficult holes. I did not realize that.
Yeah,
it would.
it doesn't surprise me. It's gettable, but there's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of trees, a lot of very weird angles. And a very high percentage of low ceiling area in the middle of the fairway.
Silva in a little high on that putt. It catches nicely in a good scramble. Kristin to go 3 down. Beautiful. And you can see that brush pile back there. If you're lucky, you might see some mama foxes and 8 fox kits is the number I've heard.
Yep.
Haven't seen them yet.
More than we've ever seen.
Thriving out here at Swenson Park.
Yep, lots of goose eggs, lots of ground squirrels.
Ah, nature.
There were only 7 birdies on hole 5, and looks like it eluded most of our feature card. Kristin gonna walk away with the only birdie. Look at the spread on our feature card right now.
Yeah, wow, 7 strokes. Big tie for first. Hole 6, a par 3, 283 feet. We're playing a triple mandatory today. It's a new hole. Oh, there's a fox and some gleaming sunlight.
It looked so mysterious.
Yeah. The mandatory trees are what, maybe 15 feet apart and like 150 feet off the tee, something like that. Very difficult target to hit that far away, especially if you're trying to be aggressive and get the 2. If you miss, you just go from the drop zone, which is in between the trees. It's a guaranteed 4. You'll see some layups, obviously not on the feature card, but you can see even Kristin struggling with this very technical shot.
Did that make the Mando?
Yeah.
I think it did.
Yeah, it hit the left tree and squeaked in the middle. Classic squeaker.
Classic. This is going to be one of those holes with weird stats, a lot of 2s, a lot of 4s. Silva squeaking by the left tree and parking the hole. This is her second park job of the round, and we're only 6 holes in.
And her second follow fly, too.
Wow.
Just tight.
She's getting these difficult par 3s. They're short on paper, but they are not easy shots.
This one was hard, too, because it was a tailwind, so it was just really trying to stable your disc out, and it was hard to adjust to from what you might have been doing in practice. Ella missing to the right. She will have to go from that drop zone, those 2 flags you can see in between the trees.
Yeah, not really a friendly drop zone.
I'm betting this averaged like 3.5.
This played as a tie for the second most difficult hole.
It's not surprising. Yeah. I don't think a lot of us are fans of this. It just doesn't feel like real golf. It feels gimmicky.
Yeah, the gap is very far off the tee pad for sure.
And if you're going to do it, maybe make a drop zone that's makeable, in circle 2 or something.
It averaged at almost a half stroke over, 3.4. The fact that it's the second tie for the second most difficult hole is wild.
Yeah, I think it's about 100 feet farther in the other position, which is also a par 3. And we're going to see way more 3s on that, I bet. Great putt from Eveliina from circle's edge, getting that first birdie of the round.
Almost half the field with a bogey or worse, which is... there was 11 birdies. And this is one where if you make the gap, you're pretty much guaranteed to be in circle 1.
Or at least like...
Close.
Yeah, circle 2, maybe 45 feet. And Silva with her park job. Our feature card playing this well overall. Ella only missing by maybe 2 feet. Silva gonna move into solo first now, 4 down through 6.
Hi, what's up guys? It's Paul. I'm here to tell you that today's video is sponsored by Vessi. Some of my favorite features that Vessi gives you is they are waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof. Big difference there, keep your foot completely dry. Of course, when you find a shoe, you want comfort. That's exactly what Vessi gives you. It's the most comfortable shoe that I've ever played in. When we're playing on the tour, we're playing a lot of rounds. We're covering a lot of ground, so you need to make sure that you have a comfortable shoe, and that's exactly what Vessi gives you. So you have comfort. They're also waterproof, but the most important part about having a great shoe on tour is the grip. These work well on concrete, turf, fairway, bad situations. Best grip that I've ever had as far as a shoe goes. I started wearing Vessi Stormburst this year. I absolutely fell in love with them. You can get them in the high top, the low top. Like I said already, that the grip is fantastic and they look pretty cool too. If you want to give Vessi a shot, you can get 15% off your first order. All you have to do is go to vessi.com/JomezPro. That's vessi.com/JomezPro for 15% off.
Here it is, hole 7, a friendly par 5 at 760 feet. Your tee shot is nice and open. You got to hit this gap all the way at the end of your flight, but it's doable compared to the gap we just left behind on hole 6. Your second shot, hopefully you're getting through this gap or at least up to it, leaving yourself with a nice little approach shot to a very scary green. It's up on a hill. You do see rollaways, both on the short side and the deep side, and that out of bounds green comes up really fast on the long side of the green, only like 25 feet?
Yeah, it bubbles in towards it too, menacingly. Silva going up the middle here. That looks gorgeous. I came around. I used to take the hyzer line. It's there. You can do it. You can get the birdie, but I'm going middle now.
This one?
It's right there. Yeah, it's wide open.
It is wide open.
Yeah. Plus, ending on the left is definitely a better angle.
It's crazy. I mean, we've been playing here for what, 4 years?
Sure.
You're here. It's crazy. This gap used to look so hard, and now it just looks so much easier compared to what we're demanded to do so regularly now.
Yeah.
And it's wild to feel such a drastic difference in just such a short amount of time.
It really is.
Ella, a little early here.
It's going to be fine, though.
Yeah, she sneaks through. Oh, yeah, this is great.
Ella just needing to make sure that she throws something with, a little bit of turn. That's a little short, but fine. Short for her. Good for everyone else. This is a very friendly par 5.
Yeah, this did end up playing as the easiest hole of the day.
Oh, good guess.
This is the first time one of us has won the game.
It's true. What do you win?
I don't know. Bragging rights?
Some jelly beans. Firm handshake.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
Uh-huh. That was nice.
Firm. Wow. This is Kristin's second shot.
Oh.
Is she just outside the circle? Man, she took the right side too. Wow.
So it is a very friendly par 5. It is eagleable.
Wait.
And that's new this year. Eveliina also coming in hot. We didn't see eagles on this last year.
I'm trying to imagine. We might have seen attempts, but I don't know if we saw one actually happen.
I feel like I would remember that.
Yeah, it all runs together, man.
It sure does.
Ella laying up to about 20 feet, and you can see why this is the easiest hole in the course.
Yeah, there were 23 birdies out of, how many people are here? 60 competitors. Oh, yeah.
A little more normal, yeah.
Kristin not happy with her approach. I mean, with her putt, just a little bit off. She wanted that eagle.
Eveliina with that classic mischievous smile, and Ella still just not able to get her first birdie. Silva to move to 5 down.
Just very calmly stacking them up. Ella probably just taking a little extra time to warm up this morning.
Well, that makes me think we are going to see some eagles out here.
Yeah, for sure. If there's not one this weekend on that hole, I would be surprised now watching them play that.
Yeah. Hole 8 is a par 3, 285 feet. A lot of danger here with the water on the right, the sawgrass on that right side, and the low-hanging branches, because the temptation is to throw a hyzer, but obviously there's a lot in the way on your right side. If you can throw dead straight at it, good for you. That's awesome. Forehand is a great play. Elevated pin here, guarded by some of these trees. If you go out of bounds, you don't have to, but you may proceed to the drop zone, which is about 50 feet away or so, maybe 55. So pretty friendly drop zone.
Silva working a hyzer flip up the middle. Doesn't quite flip as much as she'd like. She'll be on the deep side of circle 2, really pushing that out of bounds green on the left side.
Easy mistake to make to just try to stay safe.
Eveliina going super aggressive with the hyzer, and it is paying off.
Love to see it.
Yeah, flashes the elevated pin. Man, she's got to be so comfortable with that shot to make that work. Kristin with the distance sidearm. I think this is the play if you've got it. Coming in hot, though. Also flirting with that OB line on the right side.
Ella with that sidearm looking great. Getting a whole lot of ground play and actually flirting with that OB as well. What do you think about these new thick OB strings? It's like webbing almost.
I don't know if I've even noticed.
Oh, okay.
They're...
We'll report back.
Yeah. Oh, man. A lot of chains from Silva from deep on this elevated pin. What a nice bid.
Ella from outside the circle giving a little straddle jumper.
Still trying to get that first birdie on the scorecard. Kristin with a tailwind putt at this elevated basket.
Leaves it just an inch low. Easy to do in that tailwind. And Eveliina for turkey. Little low left.
Looks like hole 8's going to elude our feature card today. There were 11 birdies on this one today. It was in the middle of the pack. This is another short par 3 that is just so tough. It's right there in front of you, but it's not one you ever necessarily guarantee in your game plan.
Especially because I swear they let this one grow in a little more. Like that right side gap is much smaller and now requires a much more technical shot if you don't want to bring in a high amount of risk.
Yeah, a little bit of a headwind today too made it extra difficult.
Yeah, it was a lot of a headwind when I came through actually.
It was a lot of a headwind.
Stiff.
It felt like every hole was a headwind for the first like 12 holes. Just playing against the wind. Through hole 8, Silva still holds on to the lead in a tie with Emily Weatherman, both of them with 5 birdies through 8 holes. Let's wrap up the front 9 of the first round of 4 with this 591-foot par 4. This one is different from last year. They added a little baby tree on the left that takes away the turnover backhand / straight backhand that a lot of players were opting for off the tee.
And roller.
Yep. You now have to throw through that center line of trees. It's a much smaller gap. It's pretty far off the tee pad, and it's not a poke and hope because there is a gap, but it feels almost like one. You're just really hoping you don't nestle up against one of those center trees. If you can get through there, you're lined up for a fairly simple birdie look. You do worry, though, about the out-of-bounds green and bunker just past the pin. You want to come in short and leave yourself a little uphill putt for bird.
Silva showing us that gap nicely. Yeah, I don't think this is a popular tree. Eveliina going right side with a monstrous tee shot.
I'm wondering if we're going to see more players doing this, especially distance players.
It's wide open over there.
It totally is. And because there's one tree before the basket that has low-hanging branches, but if you can throw it far enough, like you can go past it. And it's no big deal.
Wow. Okay. So they're making it look like that tree's not a big deal. I liked seeing the roller.
Yeah, me too.
And it looks like Ella might be lining one up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Wow, that flipped up great. Beautiful shot. Let's see, what's she rolling?
Wow, Silva is so far.
Yeah, S-line DD. Silva with a perfect little turning shot.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Who needs a forehand?
Not her, that's
Not
for sure.
her.
Most people, but not her.
Man, these shots are so far.
They're crazy far.
I feel like I threw such an unbelievable shot, and these are like 100 feet past. It's so cool to see.
It's a new time.
It is a new time. Wild that Evelina's air shot is farther than Ella's roller.
Yeah, very different direction though too.
I like her little approach towards the green here. Now she doesn't have to worry about a death putt, I think. And Kristin.
Oh my
God.
How far are these drives?
I don't know.
450 feet? No, okay.
No.
425?
Yeah, legitimately.
That's great. There she is. Ella finding that birdie on the 9th.
Love it with the roller as well. Silva for her 6th birdie of the round. Bogey-free front 9.
Impressive.
So impressive.
I wasn't sure what kind of scores we were going to see out here, but 6 down through 9 certainly was not on my mind.
Especially once we saw the windy conditions.
Yeah.
When I stepped on hole 1, I was like, oh, this is going to play tougher.
It's gonna play tough. But I do think that the back 9 plays a lot harder than the front.
For sure. A lot more out of bounds.
A star frame to wrap up the front 9. Congrats, everybody. We did it.
$50 to Edge.
Yeah. All right. So Silva in the lead. Kristin right behind her. Missy Gannon, Emily Weatherman at 4 down and a tie for 3rd. Got a slew of people at 3 down. And yeah, this course is looks pretty easy, I guess.
To be in the top 10 looks like 2 down is going to do it, but not a lot of scoring separation happening in the front 9. Pretty tight scores all the way down, but the back 9 is what that's for.
Sure is.
There is a lot more out of bounds. There's a lot more water problems. The wind stays up for the rest of the day as well, so we will see some scoring separation, and we will see some advantage really taking into consideration. This is the first round of only 4 too, so thanks for hanging out with us early and often as you will this weekend. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.
Watch your body and I feel that sunshine.